Sponsored by EA. Hey everyone, it's AlluringSimmer here, and if you're new here, then welcome to Planet Allura, and if you've been here before, then welcome back. Today we are going to be working on a cute little room build for my current eco lifestyle let's play. If you haven't already seen it, I've been streaming it on both Twitch and YouTube, just exploring that pack and seeing, what it has to offer. I know I've had it for quite a while, but I know there's a lot of features that I haven't really got to delve into yet. And if you're watching this on the day of release, Tuesday, July 1st, then happy Canada Day to my Canadian audience. And before we get into the build, I just want to share that I am part of the EA Creator Program, and you can use my code AlluringSimmer when purchasing Sims 4 DLC. And you can also visit my website at AlluringSimmer.com/creator to see other eligible EA titles that you can use my code AlluringSimmer for when making purchases on the EA app. And as we get into this build, make sure that you like this video by giving it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and stay tuned until the end to see the final product. Alright, now let's get into the build. Let's get into the lore of my current household that I'm playing with. So I decided to start this mini let's play on my channel because I want to really delve into some of the packs that I haven't explored a lot of gameplay for. There was a long period of time with The Sims where I was mainly just building, like when a new pack was released, I would use a lot of the build and buy and be excited to build with the new stuff, but then I didn't really delve into the gameplay as much. And recently I've been really getting into gameplay and realizing there are so many features in the game that I either don't know even exist or I just haven't gotten to like experience it for myself yet. So I created this let's play with my sim Naomi Torres. She's currently in a relationship with Knox, who is a townie from the Eco Lifestyle pack, and they started off their life in Evergreen Harbor but recently moved to Brindleton Bay, mainly because I feel like I didn't really want to live in an apartment, and I'm playing in a save file that doesn't have a lot of open homes and I didn't want to evict anybody, so we decided to move to Brindleton Bay instead. Another reason for the move was because they have 2 cats and their current home didn't have a lot of space, and I feel like it's also nice to see like people walking their pets around the neighborhood, and I feel like the neighborhood or the world has a similar cozy vibe to Evergreen Harbor. So both my sim Naomi and Knox are like aspiring eco innovators. They're working to make, the environment a better place to live in. They're really advocating for people taking care of the environment a little bit more, which is kind of the whole idea with the eco lifestyle pack. That's why the room has like a lot of green. I put this little panda because I don't know, I just thought it matched the color scheme, but also it's kind of giving like save the wildlife sort of vibe, and I really like how their space turned out. Another thing that I was really trying to do with this build is use a lot of the CC that I've recently downloaded. I actually watched Tay's most recent YouTube video where she went over all of the realistic and aesthetic clutter that she's been using, and I'll also have a link to that video in the description down below so you guys can check it out for yourself. I honestly highly recommend it. Half of the items I already had in my game and the other half I downloaded immediately, and I think it looks super cute in game, and I'm really trying to work on my clutter game when it comes to my builds. I do feel like I've gotten better over time with like figuring out the layout of rooms, especially since I've been doing a lot of bedroom builds recently. If you haven't already seen my Let's Move in the Wink series, then I highly recommend checking it out. I'll have it linked as well in the description and on the screen so you can see all the bedrooms that I've created based off of the various Winks fairies. But again, I feel like by making more and more rooms, it's really again helped me with figuring out the layout, but I still think my cluttering could use a little work. I find it hard to figure out like where to place certain items, and I think the best way to do it is sometimes just thinking about where would I put things in real life, and that helps me determine like the most realistic place where people would keep certain items in their room. If you have any recommendations or ideas or suggestions for how you clutter your own rooms or your own builds when you're making them, then feel free to leave them in the comments down below if you have any advice, because I truly think that like when I watch other people do clutter, I feel like everything looks so good and cohesive, but I feel like when I try to add clutter, like sometimes it looks good, but I feel like sometimes it also just looks like I'm just scattering things all over the room. So again, if you have any advice for clutter, like if you use a lot of CC and you are very much someone who loves to clutter a space, then leave that advice in the comments down below. Now, coming up with the color scheme of the room and just like the general idea of the aesthetic, I really just wanted it to represent eco lifestyle, but not necessarily only using stuff from that pack. So what I did with this room is use like a green and brown, like a lot of natural colors for the palette of the room, and then also adding a lot of plants throughout. I'm also really looking forward to the new pack Enchanted by Nature, because I know we're going to be getting a lot of new like house plants, and I will be adding those all over the room once I get my hands on that pack. This build unfortunately won't be on the gallery, only because I did use a decent amount of CC. As I said, if I do get a chance to find all the CC that I used in this build, I will have it linked in the description, but I can't promise that. I will say it's pretty much a nice balance of maybe like cottage living, eco lifestyle, some base game stuff, and then a few things from some of the kits like the clutter kit. And then I would say like the majority of the rest of the room is probably custom content. However, I still wanted to share this like process of creating the room, you know, as I go through the journey of playing this eco lifestyle let's play, so that way I can look back on it and see like where we started. And again, if you can't make it to the live streams where we are playing eco lifestyle, playing through the pack, all the VODs are still available on my YouTube channel, so you can just go to the live tab and watch them back so you can catch up with what you've missed. And if you want to tune in live, usually when I'm streaming playing with this pack, it's around like 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so look out around that time to see if you can catch me while I'm live. Another way to know if I'm live is by joining the Discord server. That is the best place to know like any updates in regards to my stream or the content I put out on YouTube. Another way to keep an eye on like when things are happening is through my website. So I post blog posts semi-regularly, sharing like content updates and details, and I would highly recommend checking out my most recent blog post at AlluringSimmer.com/blog. And if you're looking for other ways to connect with me outside of YouTube and Twitch and Discord, then consider to follow me on my socials. I have a Twitter, Blue Sky, Instagram, whatever it is. I probably have it, and my name is AlluringSimmer on all platforms. I feel like creating a bedroom with specific sims in mind makes it a lot easier. I've found that I don't really like doing house builds as much as I used to, and I really enjoyed making bedroom builds. I think it's mainly because it's like the most personal rooms in the house, like the bedroom. All the common areas tend to be more just like a reflection of whatever style that person may like or that sim may like. But I feel like the bedroom is the place that's like fully an expression of like you and what you want, because it's like your own space, if that makes sense. So I think it's really fun to like keep my sims like personality, their traits and stuff in mind when creating the rooms, like what kind of lifestyle they have, and using that to help me figure out how to design their space. So if you enjoyed watching me create the bedroom for my eco lifestyle let's play, then again, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. I really appreciate it if you do, and it's completely free to do. And also make sure you click the bell to turn the notifications on, so that way you'll be getting notified as soon as a video gets put out. Thank you again so much for watching. Stay tuned until the end so you can see screenshots and the final look of this build, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.